Hello, how are we doing? It's another absolutely glorious day, so I thought, do you know what, why not? We'll make a little video. So today, oh by the way, hello, I'm Kirsty, welcome if you're new. These are my dogs, this is Alfie and this is Harry Haggis. This is me and my boyfriend Lewis's Renault Master that we've converted ourselves. So today I thought I would do 5 things that I absolutely love about our van and then 5 things that I regret. And I've collaborated with Lewis on this list as well, so this is from both of us. Because actually, interestingly, most of our hates and loves were the same, but there was a few that were different, and there's one actually that I really dislike, which Lewis is fine with, like he actually likes, it's a positive for him. So I've still included that one anyway because I thought that was quite interesting. But it just shows you like how personal your van build decisions are. So start off with 5 things that I absolutely love about our van. So the first thing that I adore about our van is the fact that we have a full bed. We have a full-sized mattress. Width-wise, I mean length-wise, I did have to take a bread knife to my glorious mattress and cut 20 centimeters off the end of it. So it is 20 centimeters, I think it's like 19 centimeters short of a full length, but it is the full width of a double bed, and it is literally just like my IKEA mattress under here. So it's super comfy, and I love the fact that even though we have a small van, we don't have to assemble the bed. Like, it's not like you have to come in from a day riding or like a day climbing and you're tired and you just want to like flop onto the bed, but no, you have to build the bed first. Like, so I absolutely adore that. It's one of my favourite things about the van. So the second thing that I really love about our van, which was actually something we debated a lot before deciding on, was the fact that we don't have a bulkhead. So we debated whether we should keep the bulkhead that came with the van, whether we should build a custom bulkhead, but eventually I managed to persuade Lewis that we should go bulkhead free, and I am so pleased that we did, because it opens up the space so much more, brings in tons of light, and it gives us like a separate compartment as well in the front, where like under the seats we store our shoes and beer and the dogs like to sit up the front as well. That's like an extra little area for them. They love chilling in the front and just like watching people going by and things, and they've each got like their designated seat. Harry Haggis' seat is the driver's seat, which figures, and Alfie sits in the passenger seat, and they love it, so I love it. So the third thing is the bike tray that we have. Bike tray slash our garage area. Our garage area is so versatile. We have a bike tray, so we can have 3 mountain bikes, although usually our configuration is 2 mountain bikes and a dirt jump bike. We can have the dogs in there. We have to swap out the bike tray obviously, but we can have the dogs in there. That's where they sleep when we've got the dogs with us. We've got space for surfboards, and when we've got the dogs with us as well, we still have space for a surfboard and a bike. I think if we tried really hard, we could probably fit the dogs, 2 bikes and a surfboard in there. Maybe even 2 surfboards actually, I don't know. We should try that. But yeah, we have such a versatile garage space and I love that. It's so handy. So the 4th thing that I love is our super bougie, super spenny fridge and fan. So our fridge is an absolutely glorious piece of kit. I'm probably going to get this all wrong, but I think it's a 45 litre fridge, I think. I'll fact check myself when I go inside and I'll put it over the top if I was wrong about that. But yeah, we have a big fridge. They're expensive as shit. And we managed to source this one from a website where we've bought quite a lot of stuff from, called Just Campers. And we managed to get it so much cheaper than the average going price for a fridge of the size that we have. And obviously I'm sitting on it now as well. It doubles as a bench for us, so we sit on it. and it offers a step as well to get up into the bed, so the dogs find it a lot easier, obviously, jumping up onto the fridge and then up onto the bed. But yeah, so I absolutely love our fridge, and it was very expensive, but it wasn't as expensive as it could have been. But it was very, very worth it for us, just having a big fridge which we can store tons of stuff in, so I love it. Also our fan was the other really big purchase that we made, and we got a Max Fan Deluxe, and I love it. It's fantastic. It does such a good job of like circulating air, like clearing out vapor when we're cooking and smells, and it's really powerful as well. If it's a really hot day, you can turn it to be bringing air in rather than extracting, and it really, really cools everything down. It's wonderful. And the fact that it's all just on a remote as well, it's super, super handy. I love it. Oh, and also one of the massive benefits of the Max Fan Deluxe is that you can have it open when it's raining. So even when it's raining, you can still have it open and it'll work just exactly the same. So there's a lot of fans out there where you do actually have to close them when it's raining because they can leak, and rainwater can actually get into your van. Whereas ours has like a special, like the design of it is really like covered, if that makes sense. So like no rain can like get in when it's open, which is fantastic. And obviously for us that was a necessity, because it's not like, you know, if the dogs are in the van and it's raining, it's not like you can just close the fan and cut off their ventilation. Like the dogs need ventilation all the time, so that was an essential thing for us really. But I'm really, really glad that we spent the extra money and we got a really, really good fan and a really good fridge. And then the fifth and final thing that I absolutely adore about our van, I mean, to be fair, there's like a list of a million things that I adore about our van, but these are like the top 5. So we initially thought that we would want to go for a long or an extra long wheelbase, was sort of what we had in our minds when we went van shopping, which is super fun. But in the end we did go with a medium wheelbase, and I think that was a really good call for us, because it was, one, our first time ever doing any sort of DIY stuff ever, and two, because it was the first time either of us had ever had a van as our primary mode of transport. Because we don't have another vehicle. Like, we don't have a car. We have a few bikes and stuff, but we don't have a car. So when I drive to work and when Lewis drives to work, we go in the van. Like that's how we get there. So I think if we'd have had a long wheelbase, I think it would have just been so much harder. As like our first van, it just would have been so much more difficult, because it has been a massive shift in our driving. Like, we've had to essentially relearn how to drive in a big ass long van. It's so big. Like, you know, reversing and parking and like getting into like little car park and Aldi car parks where like the entrances are like this size. Oh my god, there's been some hairy situations, but we've never bumped it, we've never crashed it, we've never scraped it, anything. We've done really, really well, and I think that that is due to the fact that it's a medium wheelbase and not a long wheelbase. I think if it had been a long wheelbase, that would have been a different story. So I'm very, very pleased that we went medium wheelbase for our first van. Next time we'll go long wheelbase, but for our first one, medium wheelbase is the way to go. So that brings us on to the 5 things that I most regret about our van. So don't get me wrong, I love our van. I'm so proud of what we have achieved and what we have made. But obviously, any time that you do a DIY project that you've never done before, you're going to make mistakes. Like, this is just an inevitable thing. There's going to be things that you wish you did differently. That's just part of it. So here are our top 5 things that I hate / regret about our van. I love you, van. I'm just kidding. I love you. Number 1, our friggin' sink. So if you haven't watched our replacing the sink in our van video, it'll be there. You can go and have a watch of that so you can get like the full story on our sink. But basically, when we first built the van, we had a sink that didn't fit our frying pan, and it was a fucking nightmare, absolute nightmare. You don't realise. Hello. Hello. Are you okay? Do you want down? Good boy. So you don't realise like how frustrating washing up in a tiny sink is until you're faced with washing up in a tiny sink. Like, it's something I hadn't really thought that much about until I had a tiny sink. But yeah, we did change it because it was too much for us. It was too much of a nightmare. So we did eventually, when we had time and money, switch it out for a lovely new sink, which was definitely worth it. But yeah, I do regret that we went with such a small sink the first time round, because obviously it lost us money in the long run. We have since managed to sell the small sink on, but obviously not for as much as we bought it for. And obviously you have to consider your time as well, like the time it took us to put the first sink in, you know, and the time it took us to then rip that out and put in the second sink. It would have been better if we'd just gone with a bigger sink in the first place. So the layout of our van, I really like for the most part. I love how much countertop space we have, although it is a bit of a bummer that we don't have a seating area. The best that we have is sitting on the fridge like I am just now, and sitting on the folded down seat into the front, which is fine, and for the two of us it does work, like, because when we're cooking dinner or whatever, like, one person will be in the bed and the other person will be cooking, and then when we're eating, one will just be, it's as if we're sitting at the table because we're looking at each other and eating. Obviously it would be, like, for my work, because I'm a freelancer, I work from home, it definitely would have been better if we'd have incorporated some sort of a workspace into our space. It would have been difficult for sure because of the space issues that we have, i.e. we have none. But like, it would have been possible. It definitely would have been possible. We could have like cut up one of the worktops and like lowered some down, or we could have had like a, I don't know, some sort of bit that like comes out or something. Like, we could have done something and we didn't. And I do regret that. I do wish that we'd incorporated a seating area for sure. It is something that, I think it's the main thing that the van is lacking. So the third thing that I regret is the fact that we don't have a window. So we actually, when we were building our van, purchased a window, and it arrived and it was here and we were ready to put it in, and then we suddenly decided against it and we sent the window back. And I really, really regret that. We made the decision for safety reasons because we were really worried about the van getting broken into. Like, we were really worried about it being very obvious that we're a camper van. We were going for the more like stealth camper kind of vibe. So we decided to send the window back, but ultimately we have since repurchased the window and it's sitting in the garage, and we are going to be installing a window. So we've started to make small preparations towards installing the window. We're currently literally just waiting for the weather to get a little bit better so that our adhesive will cure properly. And then, so that'll be an exciting video coming soon. We'll be installing a window. I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to completely change the feeling in this van. I am super pumped. But yeah, so I do regret that we pussied out of installing a window the first time round. Because yeah, I think it's just going to be nice, and I think there is, although there's a lot of light that does come in, it's not enough for me. I'm a light bug, so I need more light. So the fourth thing that I regret about our van, and has become very, very obvious to us over this past winter, we don't have an external hookup point. So as in, our ability to charge our batteries comes from the solar panel that we have on the roof and a split charge relay which is hooked up to our van's starter battery. Those are the only two ways that we can charge our batteries. We don't have any capability to plug it in. I'll show like footage just now of my boyfriend's parents' caravan and how they've got like the plug so they can actually plug it into like the mains in the house and charge it. But I do wish, just for our peace of mind, that we'd have been able to just plug the batteries in and give them a full charge, rather than us just like coming out and turning the van on like every day for half an hour and taking it for little drives to try and top up the batteries through the split charge. Yeah, I do wish that we'd had an external source of power, just for peace of mind. And the fifth and final thing that I regret about our camper van, but Lewis actually really likes about our camper van is that we don't have a fitted cooking appliance. So we don't have a fitted gas hob, or we don't have an induction hob or anything like that that's actually fitted and built into the van. I keep like checking that the camera is still recording because I've been nattering on for ages now. Yeah, we don't have anything fitted. So the way that we cook is we have two literally just like camping gas stoves that we just set up on the worktop here, and we just like cook away to our heart's content and do like all our prep over on this side. And Lewis really likes that about the van. He really likes the fact that it's so versatile because we can cook outside if we want to, which we have done a few times in summer, and we can move the hobs around, and we can have just one hob out. Like for example, if we're making coffee in the morning, we don't need to like have both out, we just have one, so then you've got extra space. Yeah, so I do wish that we had it fitted, just like purely because I'm lazy and I can't be bothered like getting the stove out every morning and like having to put the stove away. Oh, life is so hard. But like, I just think it would have been nice, you know. Like our friend, one of our friends has an absolutely gorgeous van. She's got like a, I think it's probably an extra long wheelbase. It's massive, big Mercedes Sprinter. You know who you are, girl. I love your van. But she has like such a good setup where she's got like an L-shaped sofa, a full bed at the back, L-shaped sofa, and then she's got like a big kitchen counter where she's got like sink and like fitted stove and prep area as well, which I think if we were to do another van, which we may well do in the future, I think we would steal her design. I love her design. I just think it flows really well. It feels really spacious. I really, really, really like it. So I would steal that design and have like everything like fitted. But yeah, but for our space, Lewis, as I say, really, really likes the way that we do it. So fuck it, everybody's different. But yeah, so that is 5 things that I love and 5 things that I regret about our beautiful camper van. But I must stress that like the things that we regret are really just such minor things. I don't want this to like put anybody off like building a van. Like, it's been the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life. Same for Lewis. It's incredible. I would recommend anyone to build out a camper van because honestly, you can do it. Like, learn from our mistakes. But you know, anyone can do this, and it's fucking great. It's one of the best things we've ever done, I reckon. So yeah, I hope that has been interesting and a little bit helpful to you maybe, if you're planning on doing your own van conversion. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you have a van and you have things that you absolutely hate about it, or things that have worked really well for you. That would be really cool to hear. Well, thank you for hanging out with me, and I hope you have a really nice day / night, or whatever it is that you're up to at the moment. Yeah, subscribe to this channel because I'm a YouTuber and you're supposed to say that. Yeah, but I post new videos every now and then. I try and do it weekly. Sometimes it's every 2 weeks because I do work and I am not a lady of leisure, as some might assume. But yeah, anyway, goodbye. I'll see you next time. So here's a bonus one for anybody that is a true stan and made it to the end of this video. If you are looking to get a camper van or build your own van, get a toilet. Get this one or one that's like this one. Just do it. Best thing that we ever did. Honestly, if I can recommend one thing, get this toilet or similar. Okay, bye, love you.